long time ago, when I was a young rookie politician, 1988. Then Mayor Sylvia Sutherland, of course, gave me the assignment to chair the expansion for the Police Services Board here in the building. An opportunity for me to work very closely, almost on a day-to-day basis, with a fairly new chief at that time, full circle Chief Betts, Kevin McAlpine, the late Bob Lewis, late Gordon McGuinness, Bob Morris, and the whole team, and when we did the addition to the building upstairs. So it was a marvelous opportunity for me, and a real privilege to be working with the men and women who put the uniform on each and every day, that were keeping my family and your family protected, and something that we owe a great debt of gratitude. Pastor Michelle, Chief Betts, a number of my colleagues are here today. Councillor Deputy Mayor Gary Baldwin, who's on the Police Services Board with me, Drew Merritt on the Police Services Board, Steve Giraldi on the Police Services Board, our very hard-working chair, Mary Tan DeShane, and other colleagues, Matt Crowley and Leslie Purnell. So I want to thank you for joining us here today for this very exciting announcement. On behalf of City Council, I'm extremely pleased to announce that the City of Peterborough is proceeding with the purchase of 1421 Lansdowne Street West for the second Peterborough Police Service facility. Chief Betts will be speaking next to share more details. But I want to say right away that the Peterborough Police will continue to operate at this police station at 500 Water Street North as the base of its operation and investigations. The new facility at 1421 Lansdowne Street West will provide a second location for the police service to house its administrative functions and other space needs. The City of Peterborough is purchasing this property, but the Peterborough Police Services Board, Chief Betts, and the leadership team at the police service decide how the police service operates each and every day. I want to personally thank the Police Services Board and Chief Betts for working collaboratively with the city on finding a solution for a new police station to meet the public safety needs of our community. We started off looking for a way to build a new police station that would replace the building at 500 Water Street. We were challenged to find an ideal property and location to fit the footprint of a new police station, and the price would have been substantial. It was estimated that would cost $68 million in 2017. When this property became available, it provided a unique and strategic opportunity. They don't make properties like this anymore in the City of Peterborough. The Calvary Church property is the former Johnston Johnston Medical Products facility. It's a large property with a sprawling building that can serve as a second location for Peterborough Police Services, as well as to potentially accommodate other municipal services in the future. With a purchase price of $50 million, it's an economical choice compared to the estimated $68 million in 2017 to build a new police station. I want to personally thank Chief Betts and his senior team here at the Police Services Board for taking the opportunity to think outside the box. And this is crucially important to us all in an era where there's scarce financial resources. Even with the renovations expected to take place over the next number of years, it will prove to be a strategic decision on behalf of our community. The sale is expected to close in February. I'd like to thank the Peterborough Police Service officers and staff, the men and women, and our civilian team who make this city safe each and every day. The City of Peterborough staff who are working with a joint Police City Working Group on the facility needs to review all their efforts of this important initiative. And thank you. Thank you to Pastor Michelle and Calvary Church for working with us on the step forward for this community that also meets the needs for Calvary Church. I've had the opportunity over the years to be there at many church functions. Many of you will know my close friend, Glenn Padgett, was active for decades at Calvary Pentecostal Church. And in fact, I shared with Pastor Michelle the last time I was at Calvary Pentecostal Church was for Glenn Padgett's funeral last March. But all of us working together can achieve positive results for this community. As you well know, my campaign slogan from last fall was building a better tomorrow and doing it together. This is exactly building a better tomorrow, and we're doing it together. Now I would like to ask our very distinguished police chief to come forward, Stuart Betts. Stuart, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, all, and thank you for joining us here today. As you can understand, we needed to keep a tight control on the message for today because there's a lot of people that are involved in this particular decision. And I will tell you that as I researched coming to the Peterborough Police Service, I knew that the need for a new facility was great. I did not realize how acute that need was until I arrived. And just a short 10 months ago, I had the opportunity to sit in on my first facility review committee, at which time we were presented with a plan with selected sites in the downtown area where a police service, our police service, could be located. None of those preferred sites met our needs. None of those was immediately available. As you've heard the mayor say, they would have all come at a greater cost than what we're looking at today, because none of that land that we would have required was available. It would have required a purchase. It would have required a demolition of existing structure. It would have required, in some cases, a remediation of land in order to then begin the build. And we would still be talking about a new facility decades in advance. From what I have been told by the staff who work here now, this discussion has been taking place for decades. And I am excited that within the last 10 months, not only were we able to pivot away from a single facility location, but we were able to identify a 2-facility solution that would help meet our needs. You've seen me in the media. You've seen me with my pant legs rolled up to my knees, standing in a puddle of water, which would be more appropriately a small pool of water, because the needs here are significant. There will be requirements for renovations in this facility and renovations in the new facility. But let me be clear and let me repeat what the mayor has said. This facility at this location will remain the base of operations for our operational deployment and our investigative deployment for the City of Peterborough and the Peterborough Police Service. There is no intention to move from this location because a downtown footprint is important to us. We believe that it is critical for our community that the Peterborough Police Service remains present and visible in our downtown, and that's what we expect to do. This second facility provides us with an opportunity to allow our administrative side of the organization to relocate. It allows our training to relocate to a new site because we simply do not have the space here. Many of you from the media are here today. You know that we have 2 rooms. This one, which you are rarely in, and which we're all crowded in right now, and another room which is being used for training today. That's it. That is the space that's available. We have offices in hallways. We have desks in what were closets. We simply have no space. This will allow us not only to meet today's needs, but the needs for the future. As this city continues to grow, and as the mayor has said, we will be growing for a smarter and a better future. And this is a strategic move that allows us to leverage the finances that were set aside for a new facility. And when you think almost 7 years ago, that $68 million would have cost a whole lot more today and in the years to come. This is fiscally responsible. It is the best use of the opportunities that presented to us. I am also grateful to the Calvary Church, Pastor Michelle. When we had an opportunity to look at this location, I knew it was the right place to be. It was the right place to be. Now, you will all get a copy of a press release that spells out some of this information, but more importantly, you'll be invited to join us at the new location when we wrap up here today, so that you can have a short and a small tour of that facility to see what we will be occupying in terms of the location. This will be a jointly shared space for the next 3 to 5 years with the church to allow the church to transition to their next phase. And it's with great confidence that we share that space and that location. And we're incredibly happy to be able to do so because we couldn't ask for better neighbors. And so that's fantastic for us. I think it works in both of our favors, and I thank you for that, Pastor, but also to the board of the church as well. So we will be moving into that location. There'll be some short-term off-site location of some of our staff to that facility, because as you've just heard me say, we are bursting at the seams. There will be renovations required there, but we know that's not going to happen quickly because there will be some planning required. In that interim, we will have to move some people from that site, or from this site to that site. As those drawings and things are being drawn up, we will identify what our needs are there, what our needs are here. The renovations will follow, so that that space is fully prepared for our occupation and our needs. There will be some renovations that take place here simultaneously during that time. And then there will be a short period of time where people will need to relocate from this facility in order to allow the full renovations to take place here. For those that are longtime residents of this city, you know there have been multiple renovations at this particular location. And for those who've lived through a renovation, you know that the best place to be when your facility or your building is being renovated is anywhere else but in that building. And that will be our intention, is to relocate our folks temporarily so that we can allow for some renovations to take place here. We have some plans that will be staged. We will share what that looks like with you as that unfolds. We have committed, I have committed, to being as transparent with the community as I absolutely can be, and I will ensure that you are kept up to and included in any messaging that we have with regard to that. But I will say we will maintain a downtown presence throughout the entirety of that renovation. It may look different than it does today for the renovation period only. But the exciting thing is that hopefully within the next 5 years, if we can do that, we will have 2 fully renovated facilities that we will be able to proudly call the home of the Peterborough Police Service, serving this entire city. Because if we can't find the space, the time, or the ability to serve our community with the facilities we have, we can't do the job we need to do on the streets. This will allow us to do that. So it's my great pleasure. You will continue to hear from me as this unfolds. I'm excited to join you when we move and we go across the city to the new location to have a look around. And from this, I will pass it over to Pastor Michelle to offer some closing words. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, good morning. Good afternoon, I guess now. Thank you so much for having me here and for your great interest. Not just today, but since the day that we moved to this city and transferred our family here to take over the position of lead pastor at Calvary Church in July. The decision to sell 1421 Lansdowne Street West, the church property, was not made lightly by the church board and membership, and has been a process that started before my arrival this summer. Since the church was listed, there have been several suitors and interested parties in the property, but it was important to the church to find the right buyer and the right timing for the sale. Calvary Church is pleased regarding the sale of the property to the City of Peterborough. We look forward to how it will benefit all parties involved, including the greater community. It has been a very positive experience working with the City of Peterborough and the Peterborough Police Services through this negotiation process, and so thank you for that. We look forward to bright days ahead for Calvary Church and those overseeing the development of this city that we are called to serve as a church. And what contributed to the acceptance of this offer by Calvary Church and our board was the city's consideration and agreement to enter into a short-term licensing agreement with Calvary, as mentioned, for 3 to 5 years as needed. This will give our church family ample time to find a long-term home for our growing congregation. There's a saying that we have that the church is not the building, and it's certainly true for Calvary. Calvary has had other buildings and locations that we've called home throughout the years, but it's the people who make it home for wherever we are, wherever we've been located. And although it will be difficult to find a location quite comparable to our current home, we recognize that although the building once suited our purposes, it doesn't anymore. It's too large a property and a building for our current purposes, and has become too much for us to maintain as a nonprofit. However, the 36,000 square feet of the building that we will be leasing will provide plenty of space for our offices, for our worship auditorium, which already exists, and our ministry space throughout the week and on weekends. With that said, we will begin immediately looking for a new spot to relocate within the next 3 to 5 years, which will hopefully also serve Calvary and the community well. On behalf of the Calvary Church Board, I would like to thank the Mayor and the City Chief, Stuart Betts. Thank you so much. And all of your respective real estate teams, administrative teams, for continue to make this a smooth process for all of us involved. We really do appreciate the partnership we've had up to this point. So thank you.
Thank you. God bless you, Pastor.
Now, I'm sure everybody has, you might have some questions, but I think it'll be best